All right, guys, today we are going to be talking about the Renaissance. And the Renaissance is a period of time following the Middle Ages that saw a bunch of advancements in art, literature, science, and so forth. And all of these advancements were sparked by humanism. Humanism is just the study of history, literature, art, and so forth. It combines religious beliefs with education. Now, the biggest difference between the Renaissance and the Middle Ages is that during the Middle Ages, people only believed in religion. Whereas during the Renaissance, there was a combination of religious beliefs and knowledge. Therefore, this caused them to value writers, artists, and so forth. These people were celebrated during the Renaissance. Whereas, again, during the Middle Ages, only religion, we know how important the Catholic Church was back then. This was sparked by the rediscovering of ancient texts that famous writers had composed during the Roman Empire. So some of these artists include Plato's Allegory of the Cave. Now, they thought these texts had been lost entirely. They find them, they uncover them, dig them up. This causes the humanities, the subjects involved in the humanities to become popular again. So again, digging up these old texts causes interest in art, literature, science, and so forth. Basically, it's just this big revival of learning. To revive means to bring back to life. So during the Roman Empire, people had a lot of accomplishments in these subjects. During the Middle Ages, it kind of stops. During the Renaissance, we rediscover these texts. We revive interest in all of these subjects. Again, art, literature, science, and so forth. During this time, there's a big boom. One thing that happens in writing is people start writing in the common language, which means everyone can read it. Before this, everything was written in Latin. Only a few people can read. They translate the Bible into the common language. Everyone learns how to read because everyone wants to learn how to read the Bible. Remember how religious we still are. In art, we have perspective. Perspective just means that things are now three-dimensional. They look real. They are no longer flat. The Mona Lisa, Da Vinci's Mona Lisa, one of the most famous works, is done during this time. You've probably seen a picture of it. He actually studied anatomy in order to learn how to compose people to draw and paint people more realistically. In science, one of our biggest accomplishments was figuring out that the Earth actually revolves around the sun rather than that the sun revolves around the Earth. So this was a big advancement in science. So again, literature, art, science, there were a lot of accomplishments, a lot of famous people, a lot of innovations that we're going to get into later next week. But just for the basis, the Renaissance was just a time of learning. You go back to that. You pause there. Was just a time of learning. It was a boom of knowledge. Again, we start writing in the common language. Everyone can read.